I built Minecraft's cheapest house, as well as this tree house, this ice spike, and so much more, starting with Minecraft's most expensive base, a redstone safe house, which I have 3 minutes to beat. Crossing a bridge before making my way down to the safe, unlocking the first of many barriers in this house, before leaving to the next cheapest house on the list, a woodland mansion. After flying round the pillager's base for a minute, I entered the mansion, mobs in every corner, hundreds of rooms, and everything imaginable, surrounded by a dense dark oak forest. But after getting chased by some baby zombies in the hallways, I returned to the safe house, pressing a few buttons and getting a horse. But I decided to go into the stables, opening a hidden passageway, solving a few small puzzles to get deeper into the escape room. Going to the next base on this list, an end ship. Landing on the deck of the boat, I went down the stairs, finding a brewing stand and then a row of chests, before seeing a jukebox under the elytra. Going to the back of the room, there were furnaces and other workbenches, as well as an armor stand complete with diamond armor. Flying out of the ship, I returned to the safe house, and after breaking through the prison bars, I completed the final puzzle, reaching the diamond gear and 8 diamonds. Moving on to a cave base, but later on I'll be stranded in the middle of the ocean and at the bottom of the world. Entering the cave from the middle of the flower forest, going down the gentle steps, a lantern and a plant pot at the bottom of the steps, seeing a wall of 8 double chests, workbenches on the right, and an enchanting table carved out of the cave floor with a bedroom attached to the main room, a painting hanging on the wall and a couple other smaller decorations, and a bed in the corner. Leaving the cave and entering a traditional starter house. Opening a gate into a small wheat farm with glowstone and water in the centre, climbing the ladders to the second floor, which was filled with workbenches and plant pots. Going up to the third and final floor, which has chests, a jukebox and a bed next to a large window, looking towards the village. But this was just a standard Minecraft base, with the next house being underwater, surrounded by mobs like dolphins and turtles. Entering a small glass house in the middle of a coral reef, with just the bare essentials, as the main attraction for this house is just its location, in the middle of an ocean. Swimming up to my boat and entering the jungle, as my next base is a tree house. Climbing up the steps of the tree, each floor had unique blocks, from furnaces to armor stands, with a balcony looking over the jungle canopy and a bed next to it, and a farm on the next floor at the top of the tree, providing the food. But I jumped down into the snow with massive ice spikes next to me, polar bears and igloos nearby, but I climbed up the ladders into the ice spike base, with a soul lantern at the top and just a bed, crafting table, furnace and chest for blocks in the main room, a couple of plants decorating the ice spike, and a large window looking out the snowy biome, as well as a field of ice spikes covering the horizon when I looked out from my balcony. And as the sun set and rose again, I was in the middle of the ocean, on a raft with just a barrel, crafting table and furnace, with a small patch of wheat for all my food. But is this even enough to survive on? Well, we'll find out soon, because I'm going to attempt to survive the next day alone on this simple plank of wood, stranded in the middle of the sea. But before I attempt this challenge, I'm going to explore this base, which is just 1 block tall, needing a trapdoor to even get into the house. Crawling my way through the only room, going clockwise around this small wheat farm in the centre, starting with the smelting corner full of furnaces, before reaching the second corner with paintings and enchantment gear. Going to the third corner with a pile of barrels, as the chest couldn't even open with the 1 block high ceilings. But it was time to go around the final section of the base, which was full of the same workbenches in every other base. So I crawled out of the small house into the vast ocean, taking a couple of items out of the barrel, a cherry boat and a telescope, allowing me to search for nearby land. But there was nothing, only capturing a few nice screenshots of the raft, my only home for the next day. However, before I could do more in the middle of the empty ocean, I went to a plains village, where I still needed to get my house. But all I had to do was remove its current owners, which was relatively easy, but I had to deal with the consequences. Dying to an iron golem after a brief chase, returning to the raft, where I started fishing. But I decided to call it quits after only catching 2 fish. meaning I had one final thing to do, and it involved this pig, when I wanted to answer the question, can you ride a pig in the ocean? And it immediately sunk to the bottom of the ocean. And that was the end of that adventure as it turned to night. But I now set off for my camping mission, and after setting up the tent on the coast looking out to the sea, I sat on a log next to a campfire, staring into the desert and savanna biomes, waiting for the night to progress. Next to me was just a small wheat farm, and just the most basic essentials in the base, allowing me to pack the entire tent into my inventory in less than a minute, and prepare for the next destination, which was just an empty field, as I had just 100 seconds to build the next cheapest base on this list, and the most notorious base in Minecraft history, the dirt hut. I started by forming the exterior, but it was slightly smaller than I intended, constructing the walls and roof, but before I could complete the base, I moved on to the next base, which was 100 blocks below the ground, inside an amethyst geode, with lanterns hanging from the ceiling, and crystals lighting up the area, carved out of the depth of the earth. Everything you could ever need was in this base, from a smoker to an anvil, a bed to stone cutter. But there's still even more this base has to offer, which I'll show after finishing off the dirt hut, which I'd almost messed up, forgetting to bring a door, so I raced towards the first tree I could see. Unfortunately, it was birch, but I had no time to go for a second tree, and using the crafting table which I'd already placed, I created a door, putting it into the house, adding the final few torches for safety at night. The dirt hut was complete, with almost no space in the interior, as I have to go back to the geode for the final parts of the base, with the second best thing after the unique colour scheme being its location, allowing me to go straight into the mines and get all sorts of ores, like gold, redstone and even diamonds, which are all more valuable than the next house on this list on this empty piece of land, taking less than 3 seconds to build, consisting of just a bed, crafting table and chest, worth just 1 tree, which I was able to beat Minecraft with on the video on screen now.